Hey y'all, I know it's been a minute, but Drew coming at you today from, well, not the shed, as you can see, from my living room. I live in North Carolina and it is hot. It has been brutal these past couple of days. That's a lie. It's really more like these past couple of weeks. And I didn't want to shoot out there. So I don't have that big, work light shining in on me. So I don't know if that's a production value upgrade or downgrade. I guess we'll see in post. But nothing but the highest quality production here at Drew Bone Photography's YouTube channel. I'm a photography channel, not a videographer, so yeah. Anyways, for today's ramble and video talk, I really want to talk about this one weird trick that photography companies don't want you to know about in order to improve your photography skills. I know that's a really long way of saying that, hey, you should do this to get better, but it's funny. I just got off of some of those, stuff online. We see the ads just like, doctors don't want you to know about this one trick to, destroy belly fat. And I just thought that was, fitting. Anyway, I ramble here. That's maybe why you're here. If you are here, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, all that stuff. We're on our way to 20 subscribers, so hey, that'd be awesome. Anyways, to get into the topic of today's ramble, let's give you a bit of a backstory about myself. So Andy, from a couple of years ago, really wanted a Fujifilm X-E4 when I was starting off, getting back into photography. I just liked how it looked. I liked the flip-up screen, the way the dials were. I liked the colors. It's just the camera that, spoke to me. It was very pleasing, both in form, function, aesthetically, and picture quality. It's great. People still love that camera. I still like the photos people take with that camera. But I couldn't find one. It was expensive on the used market. It was back ordered. If I could find, it online new for several weeks or months. And I ended up going with the Fujifilm X-S10 at the time. And that was a great camera. I loved it. I used it a lot. But if you've been following these videos, I left Fujifilm for like my personal camera for Lumix. And I've been really, really happy with that whole decision so far. But a couple of weeks ago, Fuji dropped the pre-orders for the X-E5. And me from a couple of years ago, popped up, was like, hey, you know what? You should pre-order that camera. You really wanted that camera. Maybe you should get it now. And I thought to myself, let me look into it. So I put it into the cart on B&H Photo. I went out to YouTube because I know the press release was, or embargo has been lifted. And I started looking at the reviews of the camera and the new lens that it was coming out with it, the 23mm f2, whatever it was, because if I was going to purchase it, I needed Fuji lenses because I sold my stuff, and that, would save me money. The kit lens combo would be the better deal. And I was looking at all of the photos that were taken with this camera and lens, and I was like, wow, these look great. The seascapes of people in Europe and London and New York and the Midwest, and I was like, these photos look amazing. I need this camera. And then I took a step back. I did like my 30 seconds of deep breathing, recenter my mind, get past the impulse. And I didn't end up purchasing that camera because I realized, and something I already knew, I think deep down already, was that camera and that lens is not going to make me a better photographer. When I was really thinking that, man, if I had that camera, I could take those pictures. That's not true. I think what I really wanted is I wanted to go to those locations to take pictures. And if I was buying a new camera or a new lens, I wouldn't be able to afford those types of trips. Right? It's about $1,800 here in the States for the X-E5 and the lens combo. And for $1,800, I could take a long weekend to New York City with my wife. And that'd be a great time full of fun memories. And I'd be able to take my camera along and take pictures. That is a key. Take pictures. I could go to the Midwest. I could go to Yellowstone or some Grand Canyon, Zion National Park. Also with my wife. I could drive and take the dogs with my camera and take pictures. What I really wanted to do was take pictures in those locations and just have that experience. And if I'm dropping, 1,800 bucks on a new body and lens, or a couple $100 on the latest and greatest lens that is coming out, I'm not going to improve because I'm not going out to places to take pictures. If you want to get better, and if you want to take the pictures of your online, photography idols and role models and people you look up to, you got to go out and take the pictures. Take the pictures. That is how you're going to improve. I think I've fallen victim to this in myself, where it's like, I need to take more pictures, and this lens will help me do that because it's smaller, it's more compact, it's a pancake. And what do? I get it, I use it for a couple of days, I take that increase in, pictures, and then, I don't want to say the novelty wears off, but, it's not special anymore. Maybe that's a good way to phrase it, and it doesn't collect dust. I still use it, but I'm not taking as many pictures as I thought I would have been. And these past couple of weeks, I have really been driving home that I need to take pictures every single day, and I have been happy with the progress I have made with that. And I'm not even using my good camera or my fancy lens to do that. I've been more meaningful about using the TG7 Tough that I have, that I talk about as my everyday carry camera, and I've been using it more. Been trying to, when I'm in the dark, walking the dogs in the morning, I've been walking them a little bit later, even though it's hot, so I can go out when the sun is at like the golden hour in the mornings. And I've been really happy with some of those pictures I've been taking. I've been taking breaks during the day to let my dogs out. And what do I take with me? My camera. And I can think about composition, the lighting, the shadows, the ISO, the f-stop, all these things that I need to do when I'm out there working with clients, so it becomes more second nature to me. If you want to be a better photographer, all you have to do is one thing: take more pictures. And then, okay, maybe two things, but it's related. Look at them afterwards. Reflect on the photos. What do you like about these? What do you not like about these? Sometimes that can be when you're done and you come back in, you load them up, or maybe it's after a couple of photos. You take that breather, you take a pause, and you cycle through on your camera screen. And you can see, oh, this, these highlights are overblown. It's a little bit too motiony, or maybe I wanted more of a blur. I've been, playing with my dogs running around the backyard. Maybe I need to, decrease the shutter speed so I can drag it a little bit, stuff like that. And I think from the past couple of sessions I've taken, and there'll be videos on those lessons learned that I have planned, I have seen the improvement in my composition, in my lighting, in just the overall process, and feeling more comfortable behind my camera when it counts. Because when I'm, at the house taking pictures of the dogs or my wife, or, self-portraits, whatever you want to call it, it's low threat. I can, pause, look at the camera, redo the settings, all that jazz. But when I've been working with clients, I don't always have that opportunity. I did a wedding reception a couple of weeks ago, and you don't have a second chance to capture the first dance, or them cutting the cake, or special moments that are spontaneous. I don't want to be like, take the picture, look at it, and be like, oh, excuse me, can y'all do that thing you just did that was really cute? No, it's not going to be the same. That magic moment will be gone if I didn't capture it at that time. And going out there and taking the pictures every day has been the one thing that has made me a better photographer. It's not the new lenses, it's not the new camera bodies, it is going out there and taking pictures. And for that $1,800 I saved myself, I've already planned a couple of beach trips to go with my wife, and we've been there once. I'm going back again later on well, I guess technically next month now. And I took pictures and it was great. And we did things together and we took pictures of us doing those things. And then in the fall, I booked myself a trip to New York City with my wife to see a concert. And you know what I'm going to be able to bring? My camera. That's not the new one that I almost purchased. And I will be able to go out there, take those pictures, and learn and improve. Is it going to be as good as, Roman Fox, who was just there, who I look up to so much? No. But I'm going to be able to go there and use his photos for inspiration and capture things myself and have a great time. So the next time you think you need this piece of gear to, take, the photos of people you look up to, do you really? Or do you just want to go out there and take those photos in those locations? If you're buying new gear, at least I can't speak for everybody, I know I won't be able to afford stuff like that. I'm not made of money, I'm not rich. My photography business is just starting off, if you even call it a business yet. Yeah, take pictures. Don't buy gear unless you absolutely need it. And if you really need it, you can probably just rent it. Yeah, so that's my ramble. Maybe you got something out of this. Maybe I was that voice you needed to not go out there and buy this new piece of gear you've been on the fence on. So apologies if that upsets you. I know everybody wants new gear. I do too. But if you got something out of this, consider liking, subscribing to the channel. We're almost at 20. I know I ramble, but I try to make them meaningful. I know I've gone longer between uploads than I would have liked to, but life has been life. This isn't a life, vlog video or channel yet. Who knows, maybe I'll combine the two someday. But I do have a couple of videos planned. Like I said, I've done a couple of sessions. I've done a newborn session. I took pictures at a baby shower. I've done 2 family sessions, one at a sunflower field and one at the beach recently. Speaking of the beach, and I'm super happy with how they've turned out. Not as happy as I would like to be. I'm probably my own worst critic, which is great. That's why I think I've been improving as well. But I have some videos planned on lessons learned for those, at least from the beginner photographer's perspective. So thanks for stopping by. If you're still here, let me know in the comments your favoriteest place that you have ever taken pictures at. I'm really curious to know, and maybe I'll put it on my photography travel bucket list that I'd like to do someday. So hey, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. Bye.